Accountability, the courage to love deeply. Written by Brené Brown. Accountability. It's a word that can make us squirm. It requires vulnerability. It asks us to own our actions. And it challenges us to show up in our relationships with courage and honesty. But here's the thing. Accountability isn't about blame or shame. It's about love. It's about recognizing that our actions impact others. And it's about taking responsibility for the part we play in creating the relationships we desire. When we avoid accountability, we create distance. We build walls instead of bridges. We prioritize self-protection over genuine connection. But when we embrace accountability, we open ourselves up to a deeper level of intimacy. We create a space where vulnerability can flourish. We build trust, brick by emotional brick. Choosing accountability isn't always easy. It requires self-awareness. It requires a willingness to examine our own shortcomings, and it requires the strength to apologize and make amends when we've hurt someone we love. But the rewards are immeasurable. Accountability is the foundation of strong, healthy relationships. It's a sign of emotional maturity, and it's an act of love that has the power to transform our lives and relationships. Deflection junction, where responsibility takes a detour. We've all been there. That sinking feeling in the pit of our stomachs when we realize we messed up. The urge to shift the blame, make excuses, or simply avoid the conversation altogether. It's called deflection. And it's a surefire way to derail accountability and sabotage genuine connection. Deflection can manifest in countless ways. We might point fingers, bringing up past grievances, or highlighting our partner's flaws to minimize our own. We might play the victim, claiming we had no choice or that our actions were justified. Or we might simply shut down, refusing to engage in any meaningful dialogue. But deflection never leads to resolution. It only creates more hurt, resentment, and distance. When we deflect, we deny our partner the opportunity to feel heard and understood. We undermine their trust, and we prevent ourselves from experiencing the growth and healing that comes with taking responsibility for our actions. When dialogue dies, the battlefield of winning an argument. Somewhere along the way, we absorbed the idea that disagreements are battles to be won. We enter conversations armed with defenses, ready to counter every point and prove our righteousness. But when our goal is to win the argument, we miss the opportunity for real dialogue, understanding, and connection. This pattern often plays out in emotionally charged conversations. Instead of listening with empathy and seeking to understand our partner's perspective, we focus on defending our own. We interrupt, we raise our voices, and we disregard their feelings in our pursuit of being right. But true connection doesn't reside in being right. It lives in the shared space of vulnerability, where we can acknowledge our own imperfections and hold space for the emotions of another. When we approach disagreements as opportunities for connection, we shift the dynamic. We choose curiosity over judgment, we replace defensiveness with vulnerability, and we prioritize understanding over the need to be right. This is how we transform battles into bridges, leading to deeper intimacy and stronger bonds. A universal struggle, stepping away from blame and shame. It's tempting to believe that accountability issues fall neatly along gender lines. We've all heard the stereotypes: men are avoidant while women are overly emotional. But the truth is, the struggle with accountability is a human one. Men and women alike can fall into patterns of defensiveness, blame shifting, and emotional shutdown. We all have blind spots, insecurities, and deeply ingrained defense mechanisms that we develop to navigate the complexities of relationships. But the good news is, growth is possible for everyone. It starts with recognizing our own patterns and taking ownership of our actions. It requires letting go of the need to be right and embracing the vulnerability of admitting when we're wrong. When we shift our focus from blame to understanding, we open ourselves up to profound transformation. We create space for compassion, both for ourselves and our partners. And we begin to dismantle the harmful stereotypes that prevent us from building truly equitable and fulfilling relationships. One of the most powerful gifts we can offer our partners is the gift of being heard. Not just passively listening, but truly hearing their words, their pain, and their perspective without judgment or interruption. This is the essence of empathetic listening. When someone we love is sharing something difficult, our instinct is often to jump in with solutions, offer advice, or defend our own actions. But sometimes, the most loving response is simply to listen, to be fully present with their emotions, validating their feelings, and creating a safe space for them to be vulnerable. This doesn't mean we have to agree with everything our partner says. It means we choose to understand their experience, even if it differs from our own. It means putting aside our own agenda and prioritizing their need to feel heard and validated. Empathetic listening requires patience, presence, and a willingness to set aside our own ego. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we truly hold space for another person's pain, we deepen intimacy, build trust, and strengthen the foundation of our relationships. A moment for reflection, recognizing our own accountability gaps. It's easy to point fingers and identify where our partners fall short when it comes to accountability. But true growth requires turning the mirror inward and examining our own patterns. Ask yourself, do I readily accept responsibility for my actions, even when it's uncomfortable? Do I minimize or justify my mistakes? Do I get defensive or shut down during difficult conversations? Do I prioritize being right over understanding my partner's perspective? Honest self-reflection can be uncomfortable. It requires us to confront our own shortcomings and challenge our deeply ingrained defense mechanisms. But it's in this discomfort that true growth resides. By identifying our own accountability gaps, we empower ourselves to show up differently in our relationships. We can start making conscious choices that foster connection, vulnerability, and authentic intimacy. The discomfort of growth. Choosing courage over comfort. Growth is rarely comfortable. It requires us to confront our fears, challenge our limiting beliefs, and step outside of our comfort zones. And when it comes to accountability, growth requires us to embrace the discomfort of vulnerability. It's tempting to choose the familiarity of our old patterns, to avoid difficult conversations, to prioritize our own ego, and to protect ourselves from the potential pain of vulnerability. But when we choose comfort over courage, we sacrifice the opportunity for deeper connection and authentic intimacy. Embracing the discomfort of growth means owning our mistakes, even when it's hard. Apologizing sincerely and making amends for our actions, letting go of the need to be right and prioritizing understanding, choosing vulnerability over defensiveness, showing up with courage and honesty even when it's scary. This journey won't always be easy. There will be setbacks, missteps, and moments of self-doubt. But with each courageous step, we move closer to becoming the partners we aspire to be, creating relationships that are built on trust, vulnerability, and authentic connection. Normalizing accountability, building stronger relationships one conversation at a time. Imagine a world where accountability isn't a source of fear or resentment. A world where it's seen as a sign of strength, a pathway to growth, and an essential ingredient in healthy, thriving relationships. This vision starts with each of us. It starts with normalizing accountability in our own lives and relationships. It starts with having those difficult conversations, owning our mistakes, and showing up with vulnerability and courage. When we normalize accountability, we create a ripple effect. We inspire those around us to do the same. We challenge the societal norms that perpetuate blame, shame, and silence. And we create a world where vulnerability is celebrated, mistakes are seen as opportunities for growth, and relationships are built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. This isn't about achieving perfection, it's about embracing the messy, imperfect beauty of human connection. It's about showing up for ourselves and our loved ones with authenticity and courage. And it's about building relationships that are strong enough to weather life's storms. Connection over correctness, the heart of authentic relationships. At the heart of every meaningful relationship lies a fundamental desire, the desire to be seen, heard, and understood for who we truly are. This deep yearning for connection transcends the need to be right, to win arguments, or to protect our egos. When we prioritize connection over correctness, we shift our focus from winning to understanding. We let go of the need to control the narrative and embrace the vulnerability of being wrong. We choose empathy over judgment, curiosity over defensiveness, and forgiveness over resentment. This doesn't mean we condone hurtful behavior or compromise our own values. It means we approach disagreements with the intention of understanding, not judging. We recognize that mistakes are inevitable and that growth often resides on the other side of accountability. In the tapestry of human connection, it's not our individual threads that matter most, but the strength of the weave that binds us. And that weave is strengthened by accountability, compassion, and the courage to choose connection over correctness. It's in these moments of vulnerability and shared humanity that we discover the true beauty and resilience of authentic relationships.